see the women fight, they usually steal the show.
Carlos just got a good shot here, Mike.
My goal is to always burn myself out, push myself as hard as I can so there's nothing left.
And a takedown by Rousey.
The number one thing that I've learned from judo and MMA and just athletics in general is just to not have any fear.
The UFC, or the Ultimate Fighting Championship, has come a long way since its inception in 1993, when it was bought in 2001 by Dana White, president of the UFC, and his partners, the Fertitta brothers.
Dana, congratulations on your first show. That's got to feel good.
Thank you very much, James. I appreciate it. We're very excited.
Fox Files talked with Dana about his success.
You took over this company when it was in a serious financial hole.
I called my partners and said, you know, I think the UFC's in trouble. I think we could buy it. This would be interesting. And a month later, we owned the company.
How much did you purchase it for?
We bought it for $2 million.
And how much is it worth today?
A lot more than $2 million.
A lot more than $2 million is an understatement. Today, the UFC brings in an estimated $600 million a year and is worth over an estimated $2 billion. Recently, they signed a lucrative broadcast deal with Fox Sports 1.
We have the biggest sports franchise on earth, the most valuable sports franchise on earth. We're in 175 countries, 23 different languages, and over 1 billion homes worldwide, and we're the largest pay-per-view provider in the world. This sport works everywhere because I don't care what color you are, what country you come from, or what language you speak. We're all human beings, and fighting's in our DNA. We get it and we like it.
We keep talking about mixed martial arts. What is that?
The first UFC happened because they wanted to answer the age-old question of which fighting style was the best. Would a karate guy beat a kung fu guy? Would a boxer beat a wrestler? And the answer to that age-old question ended up being no one style was the best. You had to have a little piece of everything to be a complete fighter. So you're talking about boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and any other martial art thrown in there.
Recently, women have been brought into the UFC family where they're held to the same rules and standards as the men. But a few years ago, TMZ Sports caught Dana saying this.
When are we going to see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
Never. That guy was an idiot.
Yeah, right.
Oh, wait, that was you who
Yeah,
said
that
that.
was me.
Oh, my bad, I'm sorry.
Not only did I say they won't fight here, I stamped the never on there.
And you said that because?
Because I saw a fight one time, and it was a mismatch between two women, and it completely turned me off to women fighting in MMA. It's just a testament now to how much the sport has evolved, that we can actually create an entire division in the UFC.
So it wasn't a sexist statement on your part?
No, everybody thought it was, and everybody would accuse me of that, but it was not sexist. No, far from it. I'm the furthest thing from that.
You can go and try and find as many judo players as they want to train for me, but they're not going to fight anything like me.
Fox Files sat down with one of UFC's most dominating women fighters and current 135-pound bantamweight champion, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. She holds a record of 7-0 with all wins coming by armbar in the first round.
I'm entirely emotionless when I walk into the octagon.
She is one of the most fierce competitors that I've ever met in my life, ever, in boxing or mixed martial arts.
That sense of competitiveness started at a young age. Growing up in North Dakota, Ronda was a swimmer, but when she moved to LA, she took up judo. This was not without a bit of resistance from her mother, who just happened to be the first American world champion in judo.
She didn't want me to do it. She thought people would expect too much out of me because I was her daughter. She acquiesced, and I had a knack for it.
So is that why it was so instantly attractive?
Yeah. I was really socially, shy. I didn't speak very much, and we moved to LA from North Dakota, so I had a really thick accent. I was like, oh geez, for Pete's sake. Oh, I love moving to new schools over there. St. Anne's is such a nice place to go, and I just didn't fit in. So judo, it really forced me to be one-on-one with a kid, and I didn't have to say anything. It was forced me to be social.
Judo would bring Ronda to the Olympic stage, where she was part of the 2004 and 2008 teams. She failed to medal in 2004 and was disillusioned by the life of an Olympian.
And so after the 2004 Olympics, you ran away from home, I understand.
It pretty much came down to, everything that I did every single day was dictated by another person. The week after I turned 18, I just packed up all my stuff and just went off across the country. I thought I was going to get a job at a convenience store and go to community college or something.
While in upstate New York, Ronda still maintained a rigorous training regimen, but stayed away from the restrictive life of coaches and supervised practices.
I ended up moving to Chicago for a while. I had no real coaches, no one was really coaching me. So I ended up having one of the best years ever. I won a World Cup, and we hadn't had an American woman do that in 9 years, and I was actually making a little bit of money.
Fortunately, she had a change of heart and decided to give the Olympics one more try.
It went way better that second time around.
Bronze is definitely way better than nothing at all, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely is. It is a very bumpy path.
That bumpy path led Ronda to being the first American to medal in judo. And along the way, she picked up the taste for mixed martial arts.
And at what point did you say, I want in?
My judo teammates started getting into watching MMA, and they would have little fight nights where we would all get together and watch the fights that were on. And I remember one of them was, I saw Gina Carano and Julie Kedzie fight. And I just sat there and I thought, I could beat both those girls. I could be doing that right now. But I didn't want to say it because I was in the middle of an Olympic run and everyone would turn to me and call me an idiot. To this day, I still haven't gotten a single bruise from getting hit in a fight.
Coming up, meet the one fighter and Marine who changed.
How do you feel in general about women being a part of the UFC?
I think it's great, having women fighters here, the same opportunities that men do. I mean, they're just as skilled.
I was looking for a sense of direction. I wanted something that had discipline.
Liz Girl-Rilla Carmouche was born in Louisiana, but grew up in Japan, where she decided to follow in her father's footsteps and join the military.
I knew that if I was going to do any branch in the military, it had to be the best of the best and the most challenging one. And the Marine Corps, of course, is what epitomized to me everything that I was looking for.
How many tours of duty did you do?
3 tours to Iraq.
And what years were you there?
2006, 2008, and 2009. 6 months tours at a time.
During her last tour in Iraq, her friends introduced Liz to the hard-hitting world of mixed martial arts.
I was like, you know what, I like it. I don't just focus on one art. I have to learn everything to be the best fighter. Being that engaged and that involved in something really appealed to me. It was a game of chess that I could push myself to.
This is a machine. There's a gear that she has that other human beings don't possess. And when she turns that gear on, she leaves everybody in the dust.
So when did you first take your official lesson?
My first official lesson was when I got back from Iraq. My first day ever in, it was sparring. Bloodied up nose, hair pulled out, tank top ripped, bra ripped, it was just beaten up. And I was like, okay, I'm hooked, I want to do this, let's keep going.
And just to confirm, it was with another girl, correct?
No, it was only men.
Holy smokes, they showed you no mercy.
No, not at all.
I've seen grown men that are professionals in MMA come in and she serves them like they're children and leaves everybody crying.
Within 6 months, she became a pro, and within 8 months, she was fighting for the world title. So she's really good.
On February 23, 2013, Liz's hard work paid off, and she became a part of history. She earned the chance to fight the champion, Ronda Rousey, in the first ever women's title fight, and she'd be doing it as the UFC's first openly gay fighter.
Ronda's face is getting twisted.
She had Ronda Rousey's back and she had her in a choke. Every woman would have tapped to that thing, except Ronda.
To this day, I still haven't gotten a single bruise from getting hit in a fight. Knock on wood. I did get a bruise from Liz Carmouche giving me the crossface, but that was it.
How did you feel when you didn't come out with the W?
I did the best I could do, but I wanted more. And of course I want to come out with the win. That was my dream. I wasn't one of those people going in there being like, I just want to be a part of history. No, I wanted to make history. I wanted to come out there with the title, and not having that was kind of a check for me, but it made me work that much harder.
So Liz was a good fight, huh?
That was a great fight. I would not be surprised if she put another string of wins together and came back for more.
For another title?
Yeah.
Against you?
Yeah. You never know. It's a crazy sport.
That'd be good.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
Liz may make that prediction come true. On July 27, 2013, in her second UFC fight, Liz fought Brazilian Jessica Andrade and beat her with a vicious ground and pound game.
This is where Carmouche shines.
As both women continue to make headlines, Ronda Rousey's next challenge is being one of the first women to coach the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter, against her most hated rival, Miesha Tate.
I knew they were going to set me up with something. Hi.
How is it coaching and not, fighting?
It's extremely emotionally taxing. I care a lot about every single one of these kids on this team, and it's their whole lives on the line. It's the whole world to them, and it would be disrespectful for them for me not to take it just as seriously.
So what can we expect from this season?
I gave a slogan for the name of the teams, and I called Miesha's team Team Fake Nice, and us Team Real Mean. And that was pretty much it.
Okay, is it about the team or you and Miesha? Really?
It's more about me and Miesha. But, it's a team show, so we're calling it teams, okay? We need to have a sense of camaraderie on Team Rowdy, okay? So we're just like, team Real Mean, and like some people, they don't like it. They don't like people being upfront and being honest because it's not nice and it's not polite.
Their rivalry comes to a head this December when Ronda and Miesha will be fighting for the title.
Are you gonna take on Ronda? You gonna take her down this time?
Hell yeah. December 28th, everybody, you guys gotta watch. It's a fantastic fight the first time. I felt like it was really competitive until I got armbarred, so I'm on a mission this time. I will not get armbarred.
Oh, she's going down and she knows it. She knows it. Like, I wish it was tonight. I do. I wish it was. But alas, what makes you a professional is to beat somebody up at a certain day and at a certain weight. Otherwise, we would just be brawlers.